Greetings, brothers and sisters. So it's a rare occasion when Chrissy Teigen and Ellen are getting canceled at the same time. It appears they're both being canceled at the same time. Ellen DeGeneres slams orchestrated and misogynistic, toxic work claims. So here is the money quote. I have to say it if nobody else is saying it. It was really interesting because I'm a woman, and it did feel very misogynistic. Well, the reason no one else is saying it is because it isn't true. This isn't about misogyny. It's about your brand of nice, the be kind lady coming down. Then she says, I really don't understand it. I still don't understand it. It was too orchestrated. It was too coordinated, like it's some sort of conspiracy to bring her down. It's very simple, Ellen. You're kind of a mean person. You're a mean person. And your brand was that you were a nice person. People realized the brand was fake, and now you don't have a TV show. It's that simple. You're smart enough to understand this. You just are unwilling to acknowledge it, or you're just oblivious. Now, I've talked about how I don't believe in cancel culture. This is, especially during the apocalaughsnow when people need to express themselves. What other people believe isn't my concern. Other people's beliefs isn't my concern, and we should all want people to be honest about what's inside of them. This is a time where everyone needs to express what's inside of them, honestly. Like everyone just has to let it out in one sphere or another. Instead of pretending to be something, instead of repressing things, people have to just let out what's inside of them, honestly. Like, this is what I feel. This is what I am inside. Instead of having some sort of mask, some sort of, fake brand, which most people do on social media, right? People take pictures over pictures, selfie after selfie, to get the right one, right? Get the right angle. Everything is branding across the board. But it is a time for people just to be honest about what's inside of them, instead of trying to be politically correct or fitting in with what everybody believes is status quo. And so for that to happen, you can't have people getting canceled for honestly being who they are. But they can get feedback, and that's the other thing. People are willing to tell you how bad you suck, and that's part of it. But then accepting that, like accepting the feedback and, figuring out if the feedback's accurate. But most people don't know what they are inside. Most people are pretending. And when they give feedback, they suck at it because they really can't look at other people because they're too into themselves to see the other person for what they are. And that's why I do like comment videos from time to time, because the comments are just so off base, right? It's not like people couldn't find things to criticize about me. But they're so, self-absorbed, they can't see somebody else, because they're too into themselves to, acknowledge that somebody else has a different point of view and understanding that point of view. But in terms of sucking at your job, yeah, you should be fired. Or if you are exposed as a liar and your audience doesn't trust you anymore. Ellen even said it when she gave her fake apology, that you don't want to be known as the be kind lady because you're held to a different standard. But she's mean, right? She's not kind. She's mean. She's mean to her staff, right? She's always practical joking them. And, people say, well, that's just fun. Well, when you're the boss and you're humiliating your staff and, you're doing these practical jokes, they can't come to you and say, yeah, I don't feel comfortable with this. I don't, like this, right? Because some people don't. Like, I wouldn't. Like, what are you doing? Like, how old are you, right? But for Ellen, she likes to humiliate people. We've seen it over and over again. She enjoys the humiliation of others. She's even said it in her show, The Game of Games. Here she is scaring her staff. She likes to scare her staff, and she videotapes it and laughs at it. She's scaring her staff. And of course, she loves to scare celebrities. It's one of her favorite things to do. In a way that's unhealthy. It's not like once in a while. And everyone is supposed to play along with it, especially her staff.
Favorite parts of Halloween is scaring my staff. This year I set up some empty TV boxes backstage and I waited for unsuspecting employees to walk by. Here's what happened.
And then there's her Game of Games game show, which she said was about humiliating people. She said harmless humiliation of people. They got the quote in some other video I made. But she likes to humiliate people, and she made a whole game show just for that purpose.
With more fun, new spills.
This season is bigger and better than ever. We've got brand new games. We've got some new twists on old games.
I'm about to cry.
I know. Don't cry.
So when Ellen was the be kind lady, this was okay. Like, people would see this and they were like, oh, it's Ellen, she's nice, it's okay. But then when they realize she's mean and likes to humiliate people, then isn't so fun to watch anymore, right? It's like sadistic. It's just a change of perspective if you wake up just a little bit. And so that's what happened with her brand and her as a person. Then there was this incident. So here's an example of this. This is Ellen humiliating one of her audience members, setting her audience member up for humiliation.
Put out some Ellen products with a sign that said only one per person, and I just wanted to see how honest my audience was,
Yeah, that sounds kind of like a cruel psychological experiment. What she did was put out Ellen merch and said you guys can take one thing, and if anybody took more than one thing, well, she was going to humiliate them. Like, she set them up, right? So this audience member is stealing something, taking two things instead of one. So she caught her stealing with her hidden camera, set up.
All right. Hi.
So at the beginning of the show, Ellen said, I want to see how honest you are, which is effed up, right? So she made this elaborate sting operation where she put in hidden cameras. I mean, this could be staged, who knows, right? But as far as we know, this woman's legitimate, and she was pulling for this. She wanted to see if she could get somebody stealing something, catch it on video, and then humiliate the person nationally on her TV show, which to me is more messed up than the stealing. The stealing's wrong. It's not like the stealing's good, but this thing is, an elaborate, like, psychological experiment.
What's your
My
name?
sister couldn't come, so that was her souvenir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of people's sisters couldn't come.
Ellen's not given an inch, right? She's canceling her.
I'm sorry. That's embarrassing and everything, but, let that be a lesson to you, because you think...
Let that be a lesson to you. So I said this, and I covered this before, and, in these videos with Ellen, I don't know which one, but I talked about how she has power. The power of celebrity, the power of media, the power of a platform. And so what are you going to do with that platform? What are your, I talked about this with Jimmy Kimmel as well. Like, you have this ability to produce something, right? You have a voice and people are listening to you, watching you. And so her primary preoccupation in life seems to be humiliating people. Like, this is what she chose to do with her power, right? Same thing with Jimmy Kimmel's, who, gets parents to pretend they ate their children's Halloween candy, and when the kids flip out and cry, videotape it, right? Video it, put it up on YouTube, and then Jimmy plays it on his show. These kids suffering and being humiliated. It's just bizarre. Like, that's what you want to do with this power? Like, you have the ability to bring something to the world, and what they're bringing is humiliation and the sadistic desire to humiliate people.
He's watching you, and you just need to be a good person just because you want to be a good person. You go sit in that Ellen jail over there right now.
Wait, there's an Ellen jail? You can go to Ellen jail? Nobody told us there was an Ellen jail. She's really happy. She's got the power to put somebody in Ellen jail. This is somebody who enjoys humiliating others.
No, you'll steal stuff back there. Come here, this way.
See, look at how happy she is. This is what she enjoys to do. She is enjoying having the power. You know, this is like being a royal person and being able to humiliate people and, you know, these psychological experiment, catch them, all the things that she does. Game of games. This is what Ellen enjoys. This is why she's canceled. It's not because of misogyny or some secret plot against her. She's not a victim. She had a brand, which she acknowledged, which was the Be Kind Lady. That's what she said in her apology, that it was tough being the Be Kind Lady when you're not kind. And eventually everyone figured it out, right? I've been covering this for like 3 or 4 years, that there is a incongruity between who she is on the inside and the brand they've created for her and she created for her audience on the outside. That's why she no longer has a show. So here's Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen's Cravings line removed from Target website after Courtney Stodden accuses her of past bullying. Here it is from the New York Post, and I covered this yesterday when she said this in a Twitter post. So this is when she realized she might get canceled. She was getting exposed for being, you know, a horrible person. And she starts her apology with, not a lot of people are lucky enough to be held accountable for their past BS in front of the entire world. There's a victim statement there, right? She's a victim. Oh, like somebody who's cultivated a life on social media to her financial benefit. She's created a brand and become an influencer on social media because of her marriage and past modeling and saying outrageous things, but really she was drunk, right? We'll talk about that. And so now some of those outrageous things are coming back to haunt her. And she starts it off with this victim statement that somehow she's, you know, being put upon out in the public for her past misdeeds. Like, that's not any way to start an apology or mea culpa. And it turns out her and Ellen are pals, right? Here's Ellen with stars in her eyes, and there's an interview here.
Oh, we love it when our first guest is on, mostly because we never quite know what's going to come out of her mouth. Please.
Yeah, something stupid. It's going to be something stupid. She hasn't said it. What great thing has she said? And it turns out she was drunk all the time. She admitted this very recently. It seems like she was drinking with this, you know, miscarriage she said she had. She said she was drinking at like 11 o'clock in the morning, probably wakes up at 10. And so drinking all day. And she admitted to this, having, you know, an alcohol problem, being an alcoholic. And then tweeting and saying things that were outrageous because she was drunk and, you know, stupid, because those things often go together.
Phone, she's going to be filming you so we can cut back and forth so we can see what's going on. All right, well, okay.
So it seems like her daughter's got some sort of a tramp cam there.
So that's pepper shot. That's the pepper cam.
So this drunk person who's been, you know, an influencer, what's been called an influencer, doesn't even know anything about her husband. Like, she's oblivious to what's going on in the world, and even in terms of the person that made her famous.
Because you've not seen Selma, and I don't know what else you don't know about your husband. So it's a game we're calling.
Have you seen Selma?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So her husband was in a movie, and she said, I don't want to see it. You know, he's a singer. He's not an actor. And it's like, I don't care. Like,
Song we chose.
I know.
All right, so here's the first question. What's the name of the band John was a part of in the movie La La Land?
Oh. There's no choices?
just a really unpleasant person, right? With no redeeming qualities or value.
I don't know if y'all know what happened, but the President of the United States picked a fight with you on Twitter.
Randomly.
Yeah. But I just want to say that it's just like...
Which is bizarre in itself. It says a lot about Trump, like who your enemies are. Like he would choose to have a Twitter battle with this, work of art here. There's Trump's tweet. There's a lot here in terms of things that suck about Chrissy Teigen. But one of them is her parenting skills. Chrissy Teigen and daughter play with nice bug that's actually a terrifying wasp. And, as bizarre as that sounds, it's even more strange when you see it on Instagram.
What is this, Luna? A bug? It's a bug.
She writes, I swear to God, if one of you tells me this is deadly bug, I will vomit. Like, wouldn't you want to know, since you're about to, introduce this to your kid, that this is something that caused them pain?
Is he a nice bug?
Yeah.
Does it look like a nice bug? That does not look like a nice bug.
Do you want to give him a kiss?
No, she shouldn't give it a kiss because it's a wasp, right? It stings. You're going to pull out a rattlesnake next? Like...
Look at him.
And so John Legend, who's equally annoying, is a part of this. Like he's there with them. Like they don't have Google. And so what it is a tarantula hawk wasp, which is supposed to have a sting that could cause paralysis. Like all these people tweeted to her. I mean, it is, it apparently lays eggs inside tarantulas, and then the babies eat the tarantula from the inside. So this is not a pleasant creature, but you can just look at it, right? It's built for combat. Like it's obviously something that stings you. And she's so stupid, like and just oblivious and drunk. And then she puts this up on Instagram. It's okay because she's an influencer. She says outrageous things. Let's give her a whole line of pots at Target. Let's merge up with this, parent of the year. And one of the basic parenting skills is to be able to see things that might be dangerous. Like wasps, for example. Like she doesn't know anything about wasps and bees and insects that look like this, look like that have, the ability to bite and sting you. And clearly, they're designed in a way to look like they're badasses. And she's having her daughter kiss it. Just think about how, remedial that is. And there's just all this information about her online. So many videos were made. I made my original video when she posed her kids in these seductive outfits, and it was disturbing. But she's just not a good person. And then she had that miscarriage and came out and said she had been drinking every day for the last, 10 years or something crazy. And she admitted to being an alcoholic. And it sounded like she was drinking during her pregnancy. And so these are not good people. And there's so much more in both of them. Like I could make a 2-hour video about it. It's not really about that. This isn't about that. This is about them both claiming that there's cancel culture. That somehow this is about them being canceled. Chrissy Teigen starts her apology with a victim statement. Ellen says it's about misogyny against her because she's a woman. And the thing about being a celebrity, especially one that doesn't have a talent, like Ellen's not a real comedian. She's not really funny. She's not a funny person, like a ha-ha funny person. If you see her comedy routines, they're not funny. And so they developed something else with her. A nice guy brand. She was a gatekeeper. Jimmy Kimmel and her are both gatekeepers. They would humiliate celebrities and people in general. They had a role to play, but she wasn't somebody who had a talent. Chrissy Teigen was a model, and I don't know if she's a good one or not, but that doesn't translate to her having an opinion and a voice. And so when somebody becomes like an influencer and people are listening to them and they want to be around them, like this is, hanging out with Ellen and Chrissy Teigen. That's what, being an influencer is about, having some sort of connection. And neither one of them is good people. They've built up a brand and they've been marketed. And so at some point, people are going to discover that you aren't who you say you are, right? And again, to Alec Baldwin later, he had a thing this morning that I haven't, I'll cover later. But he was complaining about cancel culture because of his wife. But you have these people who are pretending to be something they're not. And actors and actresses, they're all like that. They've created an illusion. Politicians are liars. They're all scumbags, right? They're all, even if they don't start off to be, they end up being power hungry, demented, and, deviant people. And so that's what we are as a culture. That's what celebrities are. People pretending to be something they're not. Pretending to be nice when they're not. And so when that illusion is, crumbles, then, well, it's understandable. There's a great Whispers from the Brighter World that came out yesterday when I started this video. And so it speaks to this very issue about an illusionary world, the world of Maya. So it's these messages, I've read some of them before. They were these channeled messages, mostly from Babaji, the second master of the Heartfulness system. But there are other higher developed spiritual souls, famous spiritual souls that talk to this French woman, and they translated this. And this is from Babaji, Tuesday, February 16th, 2016, 10 a.m. Life is created by the movement of materiality, which is inspired by the higher power whose manifestation is eternal. So many phenomena still elude human knowledge. The world of perpetual illusion does not foster spectacular advancement. A day will come, after major upheavals, when reality finally unfolds before the eyes of human beings. They will be astounded to discover it as it is. Then Sahaj Marg will take on a great importance. It will really display its effectiveness at subtle levels which human beings cannot yet access, contrary to what the best informed people believe. Life on earth is a long quest for truth, a truth which has been sought after for so long. Spirituality, as we offer it, opens doors, thus enlightening the seeker to some extent, and according to his or own deep yearning to discover it. Humankind has so much to do in order to reach a real satisfactory goal. It has already come up a long way, but a great step is yet to be made before human beings can gain access to reality. The practice of Sahaj Marg, heartfulness, provides seekers with highly satisfactory aspects in this matter, though they do not realize it yet. The world of illusion so distorts the initial truth that it remains in the current state ignored by humans. Substantial changes will occur one day. They will allow all barriers to be removed, making true knowledge more accessible to human beings. Make of that what you will. These words are very accessible to all Abhyasis. May they take note of them. Blessings to all, Babaji. And so it's long been talked about, especially in the heartfulness system, but, in ancient Vedic culture about Maya, the world of illusion. That materiality, even though it's solid, even though we're having a solid material experience, our world is illusionary. It is something that, it's not what we think it is. And our experience is different than the actual, purpose of our, soul's purpose on this planet. And then people's ability to lie on top of that and deceive themselves and distort reality and reinterpret events and remember them different than they actually occurred is another factor in this. Psychological distortion and, just lying, people lying all the time. And so at some point that's just, it won't be acceptable. It won't be something that people will be able to do anymore. They're going to get the raw, cold truth, obscurantism, which is, the powers that be distorting reality and everybody else going along with it. And at some point the illusion will crumble, in the not too distant future, and then people are going to have to deal. Like, it's going to be a shock, and then everyone's going to have to deal. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano. Definitely important for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.